Hello, it's your favorite sports unk here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Ocho cry. Monica, we had a very healthy, that's the term I like to use, a healthy discussion this morning. You said, Shannon, I knew I was in trouble because you normally call me Unk. When you call me Shannon, I was like, oh, here we go. you said, Shannon and Stephen A., this deserves a more nuanced conversation. You know how television works. You got the top of the hour, you got the bottom of the hour, you got to get in and out, and you got a lot of people. I wanted to get, because we reached out to you early in the day, asking, could you come on? You said yes. So I want to give you an opportunity to, what you want to say, Ocho?
Before y'all go, being that y'all have a better knowledge of the game of basketball, whether it be NBA or WNBA, as someone on the outside looking in that was able to watch y'all this morning, I want to tell you that was peak elite sports journalism as far as conversation is concerned. There are going to be so many different opinions, whether wrong, whether right. Monica, I didn't know you could cook. I didn't know you was a chef. Because, honey, you was cooking this morning. You hear me? You was cooking. You had your points, but the passion, the passion and authenticity, Monica, that you spoke with today. Well, I'm talking about, man, bro, I was on the edge of my seat. You made your points, and then Monica, you and Stephen A going back and forth, and I'm sitting on the edge of my seat like, man, what is going on? That was peak elite. I'm talking about elite television. So anytime there's any type of NBA topics, WNBA topics, if the execs at ESPN knew what they were doing, they need to make sure they had that same trio, and along with Molly. Because that was great. That was fabulous. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying it because you on the goddamn show tonight. Because you see, I'm cursing. That shit was fucking fabulous. That was good TV.
But the thing is that, Ocho, that when you just do television, and Monica can attest to this, you never know what you're going to get because you have so many. You have sometimes 2, 3, maybe even 4 people, and it's an opinion-based show.
Yeah.
Monica had her opinion. I had mine. Stephen A. had his. And so Monica says a topic like this deserves a more nuanced conversation that we don't have to worry about getting into a break. So if Monica needs to talk 15 minutes straight, we can allow Monica to do that. Monica, the topic came up basically is Caitlin Clark. Is the NBA or some of the players in the WNBA have a personal vendetta? Are they envious? Are they jealous? Are they, if they're resentment? I think the term resentment showed his head up into the conversation. So I want to turn the floor over to you. What point do you want to reiterate? What point didn't get an opportunity to make that you would like to make now? The floor is yours.
Well, so I'm going to take y'all. 2 things happened to me. I actually went to the Liberty game on Friday, and this episode sort of speaks to the growth of the game. My fiance and I, we just take the train home because it's easiest. We're in New York. And there are a couple of white boys. One of them went to Auburn. His brother went to University of Missouri. His girlfriend was with them, another young white man. They're probably in their late 20s. One of them might have been in their early 20s. And it was a black woman that clearly just left the Liberty game that sat across from them. And they just spark up, y'all, this spontaneous conversation about women's basketball. And yes, it was about this particular play, and it was a little bit about the Sky and Angel, and it was Caitlin, and it was about the Liberty. And I'm looking at my fiance like, this is crazy. Like, we're just on a train, and folks that you might not think are watching the WNBA hop into this conversation. And they're both engaging. They started talking about Auburn and the Tuskegee, and I was peak ear hustling for the record, but they was loud. So but I say that to say, Ocho and Shannon, I get that we are at a special place when it comes to women's basketball and the growth of the game and all of the eyeballs. I think what I was frustrated by in our conversation earlier is that we can hold more than one truth, y'all. Like the idea of some players being jealous, yes, that probably exists. But I think in Caitlin's debut, since she has made her debut, there's been a large and loud clamor or push, yes, that is Caitlin versus the W. Okay. And that is unfair. Okay. To me, yeah, jealous, sure. I mean, would you be jealous of somebody that got $28 million a shoe deal or whatever the deal is before you step foot in the pros? Right? Yeah. I just need us all to do a better job of holding room for multiple truths. Jordan as a rookie, Joe, right? LeBron as a rookie, like Wemby as a rookie. When you look at guys that have gone on to be great, I'm sure they would not say their rookie years were cakewalks. Now, in the case of LeBron, and if we use Wemby this year, they have physically dominant and powerful statures. And so maybe that has allowed them to skirt some of the curve. But Kaylin is a guard coming from college. She got to get her weight up. The W has to continue to allow her to be one of the leaders of this platform, as Angel Reese has also been, because I know that's going to be a hot topic tomorrow. And so my whole thing is just, it doesn't have to be either or. It can be both. But the prevailing idea that it's the W versus Caitlin and that these women don't understand the power of the eyeballs and the audience that she's helped grow the league to, that's just unfair. And that's what bothers me.
Go ahead, Ocho.
Listen, again, from the outside looking in, I have come to enjoy watching the WNBA now. As a new fan, I had the opportunity, Monica, to see the Dream play the Wings. I mean, the Wings, Dallas Wings, right? The Dallas Wings in Atlanta, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I have never been in an atmosphere like that. From the game to the enthusiasm with the crowd, the DJ, everything was jumping from first quarter to fourth quarter. The halftime show was phenomenal as well. So the engagement and the experience that I had at that WNBA game when the Dream played the Wings, that's what I'm expecting now. I have a chart with the misses where we're starting on the East Coast and we're working our way up to the West Coast. I'm going to another Dream game. Then I'm going to make my way to Dallas. And from Dallas, I'm going to Chicago to see the Sky. From the Sky, then I'm going to LA to see the Sparks. And then we going to Phoenix, and then we're gonna finish off in Vegas.
Okay.
Now I'm hoping, based on the experience I had in Atlanta and in that stadium, I'm hoping the rest of the atmospheres are like that too. Obviously, the game of basketball is good. I've come to learn all the players now. I have a bunch of jerseys that I bought for my road trip. I'm hoping, I'm not sure how, I don't know them personally. I'm hoping they'll sign my jersey so I can put it up here in my man cave. And like I'm locked in now. I'm locked in. And watching y'all this morning solidifies everything. Because obviously I'm a new fan. I'm new eyeballs to it. And I think after this year, they will almost, I'm not saying they're going to be able to compete with the NBA. They will almost, from an exciting standpoint, what's going to happen next?
Okay, so Ocho, let me ask you this. Because this is where Aunt turned to Shannon for me this morning. I just want to mush him. I'll just give you a hypothetical, Ocho. Come on now. Let me take you back to your playing days, right?
Okay.
Boom. This new corner. He bop. He all this big fat contract.
Yeah.
You about to square up with him, Ocho. What are you going to do with a squaring up across this from somebody who is supposed to be all this and all that for the future of the league?
Oh, he finna get this work, boy. Hey, honey, he finna get this work. You hear me? He finna get this work.
You ain't missed a beat when you said that, Ocho. So all of a sudden, some in the media have allowed this idea of roll out the yellow brick road, roll out the red carpet, because this is your cash cow. Why that idea has caught so much steam blows my mind. Okay, because we are still talking about competition, which is a beautiful thing that y'all both have made millions off of.
But let me ask you a question, Ocho, to Monica's point.
Yes, sir.
That hot shot corner, he's a top 5 pick. Let's just say for the sake of argument, he's standing there. You gonna roll up in the back of his legs?
Oh, I see where you're going.
No, don't see what I'm saying. Just like you fired off with Monica, I need you to fire off. Would you roll up in the back of his legs?
Don't be trying to use my technique. Don't be trying to use my technique.
I don't take no cheap shots. You know that.
Okay.
See,
I'm gonna stay with Shannon's example, because now you're back to Shannon because you get on my nerves. Now, Ocho, you're not going to do that. And tell me what % of the league you probably think would probably agree with you.
As far as not doing that?
Yeah, no, nothing dirty.
Probably about 98%, because there's a 2% chance there's some that really don't give two, you know what, and they'll do it.
Okay, so I hate math. In fact, my fiance laughs at me. He calls me a mathematician all the time. But let's just roll with me for a second. We got 11 games.
Yes.
We got 1 incident. I think that's a little less than 10% of the events so far in which this has happened to have a conversation. So I just want us to hear out that competing, because you have been deemed the next up, is a part of competition, man or woman, right? We all agreed that Kennedy Carter had a bad look. We all agreed
Yes.
that was a bad look for her. And I'm not making an excuse for that.
I think the thing is also, Monica, who did the look, given her track record, and who the look happened to. Ocho, I used the argument this morning. Trent Green got hit in the pocket in his knee, and they didn't change the rules. 11 years later, 8 years, 9 years later, Tom Brady got hit in the knee. What did they do to the rules about hitting the quarterback below the waist, Ocho?
They changed the rule right away.
So I think, Monica, to your point, had it been someone else that doesn't have the track record of Miss Carter, and if it wasn't on the person who she did that to, I agree with you. I don't believe the outcry would have been what it was, but it was because of who it was.
And I'm going to actually add this. I think the fact that it wasn't called a flagrant on spot is probably what helped elevate this conversation. But blew that. And we're talking about bad officiating across the NBA and WNBA for however long. Do you know what I mean? So literally, Shannon, we get the call this morning that we're going to lead the show with this. And I'm like, this is the most non-story story I think we've ever led a show with. Because to me, it's just not that big of a deal.
Hey, it made for great
That's
TV.
that's not what Twitter, that's not what we're trending. That is saying, and you know how deep, Monica, you've been in TV long enough. You know what leads.
Yeah.
People man, y'all do is talk about the Cowboys. The Cowboys, people want to talk about the Cowboys.
Right.
People want to talk about Caitlin Clark. All of a sudden, to a larger percent want to talk about the WNBA, which is good. What is bad is that they're not talking about the WNBA in a positive when you're looking at it in this situation. And I get what you're saying. You're like, it's a nuanced conversation, and two things can be true. People want to compete. This was an isolated incident. There's not a whole lot of incidents where people are clotheslining Caitlin Clark, tripping her, shoving her, and doing petty things of that nature. So let's look at this. This is what it was. This happened. But let me ask you a question.
Tell me.
You and I, we talked about it like, damn, we're our teammates. Y'all saw the girl get clocked in the back like that? Ocho, you know, in football, you do something to one of especially one of our main guys. Oh, we got to get you back, Monica, but we got to make it look like it's a part of football.
Okay, right? And I think making it look like a part of the game is a huge thing. But I'm going to tell y'all a story. In college, we played Louisville, and we actually got the rule changed in women's college basketball because Louisville used to take a lap around the court, around the whole court. We were warming up on
in y'all home stadium, in y'all home
They
arena?
did it everywhere. They did it at Georgetown in McNutt Arena. We were on our side warming up. I'm not going to name any of my teammates because I still love them dearly. Somebody tripped up somebody from Louisville, and a brawl ensued. Right? We made it to Sports Center in a little dun-dun-dun. It was like, wah, dun-dun-dun. Like, now, Monica is not a fighter. Do you know what I did in that moment?
You scrap.
No, I grabbed the basketball and said, y'all stop. We got a game. What I'm saying to you is if your DNA is not, I'm a goon, I'm an enforcer, I'm finna scrap. That's not a switch that you can just turn over. If I was on the baseline and I was actually in the tussle, then I'd have had the flight or fight, right? But I was shooting a jump shot. I looked down, they were scrapping, and I was like, oh no, we can't do this, right? So this idea that the personalities on the Fever squad all of a sudden turn into enforcer is unfair to who they are. They go pick their teammate off the ground, they grab her, they encourage her to calm down and take a deep breath. We're not in their practices. I don't think that this is, they must not love her. Like, I think we might be reading a little bit too deeply in it. And y'all, they've won 2 games out of the 11 they played. They got some real things to worry about in terms of trying to win versus trying to fight.
Yeah.
But let me ask you a question. Could it be a situation if they had a better winning record? It's like, man, y'all talking about this team, y'all talking about this person, and she's shooting 40%. They only won 2 games. Y'all talking about it like she's Stewie. Y'all talking about them like they the Connecticut Sun or the Aces or somebody. Come on now. As women, do you guys, because I know, look, y'all keep talking about this and they ain't done anything. Do you hear that and get fed up like, hold on, bro? There are other people out there playing the game too now. Come on now.
I know that this is not journalism 101, Ocho, but I'm going to flip it right back to you.
Yeah.
When you were competing at a high level, if somebody was appointed next up and their team was not, the needle wasn't
it.
moving in the W column,
Mhm.
and you felt like you were better than, and it had earned more accolades and attention, then how was you going to respond?
Yeah.
I'm trying, anybody that had a name, I'm trying to embarrass them because I'm trying to elevate my name.
Yeah.
That's the way I went about it, Monica, is that I wasn't going to do it. Now, all I needed to know, and I told Ocho, and Ocho can attest to this, all I needed to know, are we playing snap the whistle or snap to after the whistle? I just know, I just need to get in the right frame of mind to how we going to do it. Because if we being nasty, I just need to know at the start of the game, okay, we going to be some nasty mofos for 4 quarters. I'm down.
Yeah. I mean, listen, even though the Fever have only won 2 games, we have to understand the Cowboys, they haven't won in 30-some years. Yep. They still move the needle. The Lakers, they haven't won. Well,
2020.
I mean, I'm not sure if we count, but there's an asterisk behind that. But again, the Lakers, they moved the needle. The Yankees, they haven't won the World Series. I'm not sure in how long, but they moved the needle. Caitlin Clark, she moves the needle. Angel Reese, she moves the needle. I mean, that's just the makeup of it. And that's the way it will always be. And it's going to be like that for a long time. I wish people would get comfortable with that. And that's the way it's going to be. And you created a different demographic, a different set of eyes, and they're going to enjoy the game. And now I'm excited to watch the WNBA because I want to see what's going to happen next, because I have no idea. I have no clue.
So, Ocho, I love that. And this is where I continue to say more than one thing can be true. They have absolutely moved the needle. And I think Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese both are going to be all-stars and superstars in this league. They are both rookies, right? And so quite frankly, the idea that she would see less than true competition, again, obviously we are excluding non-basketball and dirty plays. It's not only disrespectful to the rest of the league, but it's disrespectful to her. We talked to her 2 years ago in Dallas at the NCAA championship game, and you guys have probably all seen the features at this point. Grew up playing with her brothers, was the ultimate competitor. And so as a competitor, you don't want nobody square up across from you and take it lightly. You're trying to go prove yourself. And so for me, the fact that we've lost that at the root of this thing, we are talking about competition and women competing at a high level, that is the part that bothers me the most. And then there's 28 years of this league being established. And in the last 5, the needle has moved. The charter thing has been in motion. You got to shout out Mark Davis, the Vegas owner, Joe and Clara Tsai, the Liberty owners, like people that have really helped to put the pressure on these women receiving professional level of treatment. Has Caitlin expedited the process? Yes. But there's also been a groundwork that has been laid. And so I just encourage all the new folks like you, Ocho, come on in and watch.
Come on.
Grab your notebook, take some notes, or you start bumping them gums. That's all I ask.
So let me ask, because when I look at Caitlin Clark and people look at her and they're like, well, what about all that trash talking she was doing in college? What about all the stuff that she was shoving people down in college? They saw that. And so now her talking trash in college might intimidate some folks. You come to the W, these are grown women. These women got kids. These women 25, they 28, they 30 years of age. They don't care. But like I said, Monica, you got the name. If I tear you up on the court,
right,
they're gonna be talking about me.
But you know what? I think there's a learning curve as a rookie. My rookie year, I was talking trash in college. My rookie year in the NFL, well, I ain't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. I didn't even talk to the media. Until I got acclimated to the game, I understood the game, and the game started to slow down for me. So when year 2 came and I started talking, once I figured it out, it was a wrap. I'm sure at some point, Angel Reese already talking. Sister, she letting it fly. As soon as Caitlin Clark gets acclimated to the game and it starts to slow down for her, and she picks it up, I guarantee she's gonna be back to her talking ways. I'm sure, based on what we saw at Iowa.
I think.
Go ahead, Monica. Ocho, you're spot on, right? But I think part of what has made this such a hot topic is that when a GOAT like Cheryl Swoops, who was a multi-time gold medalist, a 4-time WNBA champ, an umpteen-time WNBA All-Star, the woman to have the first woman to have a signature shoe for Nike, when she said there was a curve, she was hated. When Diana Taurasi said there's a curve at the women's Final Four, she was hating. And I think for the new fans, I get it. Y'all rolling with y'all girl, you protected, whatever. But that wasn't hate. That was people that have been here and watched this league. Those were truths. And that is okay. That's part of all of our journeys. You're going to hit a curve at some point.
Yeah.
Especially for a guard. See, people look at, I say, bro, y'all expecting her to be Candace Parker when she comes out as rookie of the year and MVP.
Yep.
Candace is 6'4". Caitlin Clark might be 6 foot, Monica? So you're asking a guard to do something that a dominant big in college. Hey, Candace Parker was legit. She could rebound, got you double-digit rebounds. She was a 19-10. She was a defensive player of the year. She was tremendous. And I think everybody, you look at Caitlin, she led the nation in scoring at about 32 points a game, led the nation in assists. So people automatically think, well, she's going to come in and do it in the NBA. Them women will not let that happen. No. You play harder against someone. It's just nature because you know they can embarrass you. You're not finna embarrass me. You're not finna have me on SportsCenter, especially now. And I know ESPN really covering the WNBA. I'm not finna be your highlight package. It ain't gonna happen, Monica. I'm sorry. It's not.
When this conversation come back up and I'm not around, I just want you to keep that same energy because that's all it is. And to me, that is beautiful. That is the point of competition and it should be celebrated.
Yeah.
Angel Reese had some comments today.
Yeah.
Monica, take a listen to the sound, what Angel Reese had to say today.
It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me, too, and I want you to realize that. A lot of us have done so much for this game, and Kennedy has been here before, obviously, but there are so many great players in this league that have deserved this for a really, really long time, and luckily, it's coming now.
Yeah. Talk your trash. What you talk about, man? You watching the game because of me. And she ain't lying because I'm one of them. What you talk about?
Thoughts on her comments, Monica?
I love it. And this is where we talk about you're not going to turn into somebody different overnight. Angel Reese has never shied away from the mic. She's willing to wear that villain label, however unfair it may be. But she gets it in the macro. And what I love about Angel, even when she announced she was going pro in Vogue, she speaks about the macro. And she does that deliberately. That is not just, I'm going to just throw in the women that have come before me, right? And I think that is important and what is endearing about watching her. But she's absolutely right. The girl, I'm sorry I don't know her name, but the girl streamed a Skies preseason game on her phone, y'all, and had tens of thousands of viewers that were watching.
I think it was 2 million. Wasn't it over 1 million?
It got over 1 million. But you know what I mean? So there is a demand. And she absolutely has been a part of creating that demand. She's a huge part of this rookie class as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can't let Pat McAfee. I guess he watched us this morning. And Lord, he had some coffee. He probably had an energy drink. Do we have his sound? We can't play his sound. Monica. Well, I know you've heard it by now. I think Pat got a little bit too amped. He forgot, this live. Normally we have a conversation like this, Monica, you and your girls off air. But we got a microphone and we got a camera with a red dot going. So what did you think when you heard P-Mac start going?
So I didn't actually watch it, but I read the transcript and all the articles that came down. Honestly, y'all, my first thought was, okay, here we go with this not being about race. Right? From a person who is white, right? And again, this is where I say, and I'm speaking honestly, clearly, concisely. This is where I say multiple things can be true, right? I wonder what this would look like if Caitlin Clark was Black. She's proud of who she is. That's fantastic, right? But this is where all the layers of this conversation come in.
Right.
The WNBA is a predominantly Black women's league. It's also largely a queer league, right? And the gender, sexuality, race, it's hard to parse this out of that conversation, at least for me as a woman, because I can't walk away from any part of who I am, right? And so his point about the other white chicks in the league that have been buckets, sure, Stewie's the MVP. KP has won multiple championships with the Las Vegas Aces. DT, obviously, we had a conversation about her as a GOAT, right? But to act as if there is no space to sit back and just wonder, again, all I'm asking for folks that have just joined is to open your mind. Ultimately, you may disagree, and that's fine, but you should be able to hold space to evaluate all the pieces that seem to be at play. Now, if you decide to pick up 3 instead of 6, that's on you, but you got to be able to sit back and acknowledge all the pieces at play, just out of respect for humanity at large, I would say.
Monica, you said something very interesting, and you would know better than I, but I was thinking this, but I never said it. But since you brought it up, let's go here. How much do you think predominantly Black queer helps or hurt the WNBA?
That's a loaded question, Shannon. I think the W in the last few years has done a great job of leaning into who they are. They are not hiding who these women are, and these women are not hiding who they are. One thing about this rookie class has been their willingness to share their lives. But I had a chance to catch a great documentary this summer, courtesy of the WNBA PA, and I'm blanking on the name of the documentary, and I apologize, but it highlighted Jonquel Jones, Breanna Stewart, and Nneka Ogwumike, right? And as veterans in this league, JJ's been an MVP. Nneka Ogwumike has won a title and been an MVP. Stewie obviously has been a multi-time MVP and won championships. As veterans, they talked very honestly about opening up their lives, right? Because that was a big choice for them. And one of the commentators, Lindsey Gibbs, in that piece talked about being able to enjoy this league and celebrate these women even more when you get to know them, right? And I think that star power of this rookie class growing up with social media, Caitlin has 2 million, Angel has 3 million, right? They've already been used to sharing their lives. Right. And so I think the W has leaned in on who they are, but as new audiences are getting to know these women, hopefully they find a way to strike a chord with them beyond just being basketball players. And so candidly, I'm not 100% sure what happens in marketing meetings when you begin to look at who you want to partner up with the WNBA. Because like we started this conversation, gender, race, and sexuality are parts of conversations that you just cannot escape.
Okay. The documentary you're talking about is called Shattered Glass.
There it is.
NBA PA story.
Thank you.
I'm glad you have this conversation because at the end of the day, you like people like, well, go market. But at certain times, certain demographics you're trying to market to. Because like when we go out, okay, we have to pitch. Okay, who are you trying to reach? We Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, we might not be able to reach who an advertiser or a sponsor try to reach. So it doesn't make sense for them to give us money if the people that they're trying to reach are not watching Nightcap, not watching Club Shay Shay. Right. And so what you're saying, Monica, is like, okay, we got to appeal to the people that you're trying to reach. But to say that gay and queer people don't buy health and don't buy auto insurance is just not true. To say they don't go grocery shopping or buy cars, it's just not true. So they are people. They might have chosen an alternative life that's outside of the norm, whatever norm is. There's a new definition of norm now. But I believe that you can reach people because everybody that watches television, they're a consumer. You buy something, whether it's food, whether it's auto insurance, whether it's whatever the clothing, whatever the case may be. You'll purchase something.
And when it comes to marketing and branding and WNBA and those that are queer or part of that community in general, that community always sticks together and support each other. So the marketing on that end should be easy anyway. It's common sense, especially when it comes to the higher ups and the execs that are sitting in positions of power. That's a no-brainer as far as when it comes to marketing and branding and doing it that way. Now, if they want some ideas, from the true #1 marketer and brander himself, I can guide them in which way to go and know how to do it. Like that's what I did.
You might need to get to some boardroom tables, Ocho.
Monica, let me ask you this. Because, a lot of times Black, we used to have like, who was in that room? Why are you trying to market the Blacks and there's no Blacks in the commercial? Would it help if there were queer, gay in the rooms that could say, hey, guys, they have purchasing power. I don't know. I'm in California. Man, they shut down We Hope. Gay pride is a big thing. So somebody drinking beers, buying cocktails, and buying clothes, Monica. I'm just saying, somebody doing that.
Yeah, and listen, the marketing has improved, right? But if we wanted to get into the weeds, and gosh, oh man, I should have pulled up all my research because there was a wonderful article done, I want to say about 2 seasons ago, that looked at what demographic still, in terms of representing the WNBA, still got the lion's share of marketing opportunities. And it was largely straight white women. Now, in 2 years, I do believe that there have been improvements made in that area, right? And like I said, the WNBA has leaned into who they are. These women are leaning into who they are. There's a number of queer athletes out of W that I can think of that have had commercials and are currently in commercials that are still airing. And it's beautiful to see. And so I do think that things are changing. But just like in society, y'all, as painful as it is, right, when we start having conversations about this societal totem pole, people, especially women that sit at identities, shout out to Dr. Alfie, my girl, that have intersectional identities, often don't have privilege. And so they're minimalized a little bit, or not a little bit, they become minimalized. And so that, again, that's a whole nother loaded conversation. And I'm not trying to tell anybody that they can't be a fan of this player or that player. But as you join this WNBA fanfare, welcome. It's room for everybody. There have been 28 years of groundwork, and there have been numbers of opportunities of research, right? Like, and then when you look at the demographics of this league, like, just keep your mind open to what is the reality of someone else's experience that may not look like you. That's the part that's frustrating to me in this conversation, y'all. Like, one, to hear ex-athletes say, oh, just let her do whatever. And two, folks that aren't taking the time to just do a little bit of digging about what the WNBA has been, how powerful these women have used their voices, what they stand for, because it's beautiful.
Yeah. It is. And thank you for opening up and sharing that with us. I mean, you know, you being around the game, you playing the game, you being a woman yourself, you're better to speak to this in Ocho than I, because you're in that situation. There's no better person to speak to about a woman than a woman. And so sometimes, you know, as men, we try to sit back and I don't know what it's like to have a baby. Never had one. I don't want them kind of problems. So I like women, when women talk about women issues. Yeah, I can have an opinion, but I'm just speaking at it from a man's point of view. And sometimes we only see things through the prism in which we are. You know, if I'm looking from a mountaintop, I don't know what it's like in the valley because I'm on top of the mountain looking out. You being a woman playing basketball, playing in the WNBA, who better to speak to issues like this than a person like yourself? But how often when things like this, do the WNBA, the PA, do they have you speak to the women that's coming into how many times do you go out and speak to women's group, being who you are, being the platform that you do have? Are you given those opportunities to speak up for women?
So I was gonna let you rock with this, but I gotta check you one thing on my resume. I decided that I was done after college and wasn't about to dabble in the W. So I did not play in the W, but I'm gonna have to get with the Chad Ochocinco agency to get me some more speaking engagements.
Whatever you need. Listen. I have a marketing firm, a branding firm. So anything you need, just holler at me. I can get the ball rolling. I got you.
Yeah, I all jokes aside, I have had the opportunity to speak not just to women's teams, but like last year I had a chance to rap with the Los Angeles Rams, right? And just offering a different perspective as a member of the media. I do know that our friends and colleagues, China Robertson and Arike Ogunbowale, led a great media preparation session for the rookies coming in this season. And so the W and the PA are about giving their players resources, as are the NBA, right? And so the league is just continuing to grow. And when you talk about its male counterpart, it has a 50-year head start.
Right. Monica, I think the thing is a lot of times, and people's like, well, I think the thing what really got it trending at the end is that you said, Stephen A., you had this platform and you're doing it now, but you probably should have done this a lot sooner. Me, I'm going to address that, but I have Club Shay Shay. And people are like, well, why did you have more women? I've reached out to women that play or played in the WNBA, and I get no returns. I've had one lady, she's not a professional basketball player. 2 days before, she's like, I'm gonna have to reschedule. and now my team can't get a hold of her. So I've tried to give women, because I got a nice size platform. So I want to give you an opportunity to share, tell whatever story that you want to tell. You want to talk about your upbringing. You want to talk about your life as a professional athlete. You as an entertainer or a celeb, have at it. But it's not as easy as you think, Monica, because a lot of times women say no.
I'm about to stop you right now. I believe you, but I'm gonna also say this because I had to think twice before I said yes, because I done seen some Nightcap clips, okay? And you do have to ask yourself, is this a safe space, right? And so I believe you when you say you want to have that conversation, right? But I think because of the opportunities to brand for women are a little bit, hold on, let me get my words right. The opportunities for women to build their brands are so heavily scrutinized, right? That you probably think more dutifully before you say yes to an opportunity, depending on how it fits and if you feel that the space is safe. So I don't know why people are saying yes or no to you, but honestly, like if we had this thing this morning, like I would not have thought of myself as a Nightcap guest just based on the clips that I've seen. And I've met Ocho in person. I've obviously met you in person. I think y'all are great guys, but like, I'm not going to tell y'all what goes down in my bedroom. Like, right? And so you do just wonder if spaces are safe. And so as you continue to grow your platform, I would encourage you maybe to offer the topics in advance. And you may have done this already, right?
Yeah. I always ask any guest, is there anything that you're uncomfortable with? I ask a question. You can also say, well, Shannon, you know, that question that you asked me earlier I talked about, can you not air that? Boom, we take it out.
Yeah, I got you.
Because I want you to be, most of the time when people come, they're speaking their truth. Now, if I ask you a question and you tell me what went down in your bedroom, how am I being messy? You could have said, Shannon, now you know I ain't gonna answer that.
Now, I am savvy, but I don't know if you guys might feel a little pressure to keep up with the Joneses on Nightcap. I don't think you can speak to other people now, Ocho. I know y'all can get a little wild on here.
We get, but see, that's the thing. They come for the sports, they stay for the stories. Yeah. So, you know, it's kind of like Monica, a game. Let's just say for the sake of argument, I'll let you into the arena for free, but I charge you to get out. You see what I'm saying? That's what I
Now listen, all jokes aside, I do want to address the end of that clip. I genuinely was surprised by the reaction. And I did not intend to make it personal. But when I look at Stephen A and my relationship with Stephen A, he the head honcho at ESPN as far as I'm concerned. Yes, and I have been in this women's basketball space for so long and have been privy to many a conversation pushing and pitching and asking for space. So as from where I sit, if SA says, let's talk about it, it's going to be discussed, right?
Right.
He and I have had a conversation tonight. Okay, cool. There are things that play that maybe I did not consider when I made that statement. But what I do stand by is that the way that the WNBA is being covered in this season just started in May, this particular season is at a different fervor and tenor than it was 3 years ago. Now, whatever factors go into that, be that as it may. But 3 years ago, we were not having these conversations about the WNBA as we are now. And that is just a fact.
Yeah, well, we weren't having this conversation 3 months ago.
Fair enough.
But you said, Monica, it's never too late to do the right thing.
Absolutely. And I think that some people will be like, oh, nobody was talking about like you. I heard you at the end of that show. You lucky Molly had to go to break. You talking about stuff. Monica, you proving his point because nobody was talking about Kayla Clark after 3 years ago. I heard your old Southern sass back there. Now, this is where we have to really argue and tussle with this idea of cart before the horse or horse before the cart, right? And I know we don't TV work, Shannon. Just like you said, Ocho, we can talk about the Cowboys, you can talk about the Lakers. Like there are these things that hit. And so I understand the idea that the WNBA may not have been drawing the same numbers that it is now 3 years ago. But again, two things can be true. That doesn't necessarily mean that those women prior to the arrival of this rookie class were still not worthy of coverage.
Go follow her right now. Chiney, Chiney. That's her social media. Is that Twitter and IG?
Everything.
That's both of them, right? That's everything. Very, very, very simple. Chiney, we were trending again. It seems like every time we have you or Monica on, y'all start trending. I don't know what it is. So we was having a very nuanced conversation, and you shed some light as being a number 1 overall draft pick, coming up in the system, the under 18, the under 20. You was in the rotation, playing overseas, winning gold medals for America. Your sister, number 1 overall pick, an MVP, a champion, never being selected. So you provided a lot of insight that a lot of people are not able to provide. So Stephen A and I took the approach that, look, we think Caitlin Clark, the 12 best players, she goes, she stays. We believe the Americans, the women, will win the gold medal. You I understand Stephen A. Shannon. I understand the marketing aspect. We understand the eyeball that she would join, but you had a very different approach of why you don't believe that she was selected, and you didn't have I don't think you had a problem with her not being selected. So Ocho and I want to open the floor up to you and let you go into great detail, because when you're on television, you got to get to the top of the hour, you got to get to the break, you got 4 or 5 people, and even though we have 3 people, we're going to open the floor up to you, Chanae. Tell us what's going on in this situation.
Sure. I think the hardest thing is that oftentimes when we're in a debate format, people are more concerned with entertainment than the truth. And the truth is that I have a lot of lived experience into why she probably was not selected. And I said it before, it's largely based off of experience. I don't know if people realize that earlier this year, Team USA almost lost to Belgium. It took a buzzer beater by Breanna Stewart to win. The rest of the world is coming. I don't know if you followed the U.S. women's national team. You saw what happened with the men. I know we didn't send our best squad over there, but over the last summer, you saw the international competition. If you look at the NBA right now, who is dominating the league in some regards? The last few years, foreign players. The game has changed. And I really do give a lot of credit as it pertains to basketball to the foresight of the NBA. The NBA has wanted to make this a global game. I'm Nigerian. The only other professional basketball league outside of the NBA and the WNBA is the Basketball Africa League, who just had competition and championships. They're really putting their work into growing the global game. But at the end of the day, that helps everyone rise. And I think people haven't realized the level of competition is so fierce that you don't want to take a chance of, at this iteration, potentially maybe having a player that has no familiarity with the roster, no experience at that high level. I think the youngest player on the roster is probably Sabrina Ionescu, who's a first-time Olympian, but we've seen what she's done in the league. The previous Olympians, they've all had at least 9 players have had Olympic experience. So if you look at what they constructed, they know that the world is coming. And then I think at the end of the day, we're people that are all fans, right? The reason why we have the jobs we have is because we love sports. We love it at the highest level. We appreciate the moment that the women's game is at. We want that moment to carry over, but it can't come at the expense of what the Olympic mission is, and it's to medal. And I think that's the one thing people are sort of missing in all of this. The goals of Team USA by criteria is to assemble the best team, a team where your players are set up for success. And I think based off of the popularity of Caitlin Clark, people think that shouldn't matter, but that is the central mission. And I don't know if this is this certain circumstance is setting Caitlin up for success. Her not playing with the team, her not having experience out there as much as the other women. There's a lot of factors that go into these types of decisions that are the reality and not our dream for what we want the women's game to be. The women's game has always been the most competitive league in the world. And then you whittle that down, and now this is the most competitive team in the world. That's what it's consistently been. That's the reason why they've won 7 Olympic gold medals straight. They don't want to deviate from that just because of what people deem is popular or what people deem is, this is a move for business. The business that they want to handle is winning on the floor. That's always been Team USA's priority. And I think because of the expectation that surrounds Caitlin Clark, people think it should shift. Team USA said, no, it's not going to, because that's not what we've always done.
But I think, listen, I agree with what she said. I think Caitlin Clark will have her time knowing the player that she has been, and based on what I've been able to see when she was at Iowa, based on what I've seen so far in her short stint in WNBA, she likes the fact that she wasn't picked. It gives her something to strive for. like she said, they created a monster. This is something you want to strive for, and being able to represent your country at some point, if it's not right now, later on down the road. Obviously, again, the resume of the ladies that are part of Team USA are those that have chemistry together. They play well together, and they have an extensive resume of work, a body of work that they put in, which is why they've all been assembled like the Avengers to represent our country.
Can I ask you, do you believe that the 12 best women are on this team?
I do. Now, there are some areas that I am concerned about, and let's get personal for a second, okay, guys? Because you know what's hilarious?
What's
Everyone
hilarious?
woke up so big mad that Caitlin Clark did not make the team because everyone's looking forward to her having the spotlight in the biggest moments. This is how I felt personally when I didn't make a team a couple years back. This is how my sister felt as the only MVP that never made an Olympic roster. It was heartbreaking. It was devastating. And y'all don't have blood in the game. I got blood in the game. Now I understand that Caitlin has the eyeballs that no player who has picked up a ball has ever had before. So I'm not saying that my circumstance or my sister's circumstance should have been anything different. But I just think it's funny because I'm like, y'all really care for the right reasons because you want to see the game grow. But I do think there's a difference between women and men. In the WNBA and women's basketball, our approach to the game is to honor the game, to respect the game, to play the game the right way. For so many years, people have been critical. Our league has been joked about for a long time. So many people come in with preconceived notions about what women's basketball is. And yes, Caitlin is a part of changing that narrative, but that doesn't mean we change our entire sport. That doesn't mean that we change the integrity to which we assemble rosters to go win Olympic gold. That doesn't mean we change how we compete on the floor. And I know you were talking to me about competing like, Sinead, that hard foul wasn't competition. You know what Caitlin said? Caitlin said the next day, this happens in the heat of competition. People lose their cool, but we keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? So like, as women, we have, let me tell you something, Unc and Ocho, we have not played for the paychecks. We are playing for the legacy. We are playing for our reputation. Right. We are playing because we are upholding the standard to which women's basketball has dominated, even though so many people have been critical of us. And so when we keep that same energy when it comes to picking the Olympic roster, people are like, oh, you don't know what's good for you. Y'all didn't care beforehand, but we are consistent in how we approach the game. I'm telling you, like, I don't know how many times I have to say it, for people to understand it. It's hard because, like, today I sit on air and I'm like, I've been in those rooms when I'm about to get cut. You know what I'm saying? I've been in those rooms watching people make their dreams come true. It is a process that is sanctified. It is a process that is honorable. It is a process that Caitlin has accepted herself. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think she has much choice.
She doesn't have a choice, but you're right. But she did have a choice to react to so many different things. But look at how she reacted to that one.
Yeah. I think the thing is she was always going to take the high road. They hard fouler. Oh, that's in the heat of the competition. Oh, there are a lot of great. You know, the thing is that she has an image to uphold, and a lot of times saying the right things when you could have easily said the wrong thing. I think that's a part of it. Like you could have been like, hold on, I've come up through the ranks playing 16, 17, under 18. I was the under 20. And hold on. So y'all talk about experience. I've got international experience. Now it's a problem. Your sister. I'm an MVP. I'm a champion. Oh, now what's the excuse now?
Nah, you know what's crazy? Because the conversation was about marketing, and this is how you need to know about marketing. I'm like, bro, we've been suffering from other people trying to market our league and not accepting the authentic nature of the competitors, the athletes that we are right now. You think we don't know about marketing? We've been shaking down the roof to try to get marketed the way that we want to. We want people to see the trash talk. We want people to see the competitive fire. We want people to challenge each other. We want people to see us as the badass female athletes that we are. But now it's like, oh, you guys don't know. We've been fighting to be ourselves for so long. And finally, society has the eyes to be like, oh, this is women's basketball. Oh, this is hoops. The problem is that some people have come in just through the lens of one player, not understanding how the entire ecosystem works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
I do.
That's the frustrating part. But we accept it because we understand that growth is necessary, even including all of these growing things.
The funny thing, when I think about it, obviously me being a new fan to the WNBA and just learning about it, obviously going to a dream game maybe a month ago and seeing a few players play, and now becoming a little bit more knowledgeable about the game in itself, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the trash talk.
How are the vibes in Atlanta? Tell me. How are the vibes in Atlanta?
I've never been to the club. I haven't been to the club since like 1999. But if I had to give an example or an analogy on what it's like, that's what the Dream Game was like. But on top of that, the Dallas Wings and Dream Game was exciting on the court. Forget what was going on off the court, because off the court made what was going on the court that much even better. So I was really excited, and I'm hoping, when we go on our little tour, we can, every city we go to, there's a WNBA team. So I'm hoping we can attend a game so he can get that same experience.
Wait, this is Nightcap, right?
Yes.
So a lot of people see me on air and they understand Chiney's facts and figures. People don't really know me. I don't share myself too much, but I feel like this is the right format for me to share myself. Ocho, you said you haven't been to the club. I'll tell you a story about the club in Atlanta. So you guys know me. I'm like a wholesome lady.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, I'm a wholesome lady. I don't do too much. Y'all don't see me outside too much. But I did secure something, so you know how I be.
Okay.
So you had, you went, I got it. You went, I got okay.
Okay, so this is one of the things. I went to Atlanta, and my teammates, they be moving around, they be outside. And one of our games at that time was like 9 p.m. So we didn't finish until maybe 11. And I was looking on my phone. I was like, y'all, game's over. We got the dub. I was like, man, I'm hungry. I need something to eat. But everything's closed. One of my teammates from I'm from out here. I know where we can go. It's always open. I was like, okay, cool.
The city.
I just trusted her. Trusted her. Was it Cheetah? Is it called Cheetah? Is that
Magic City?
It wasn't Magic City.
You got the Cheetah right down the street on Spring Street.
Thank you. That's where I went. She said, look, it's always open. I was eating my post-game meal, winked, and then looked up and saw cheeks. Like that was my post-game meal. So yeah, when you say you don't go to the club, I don't go to the club either, but I still end up there because it be like that sometimes.
That experience, I've been trying to explain it to people, but words don't work. Words don't work. It's like trying to explain soccer to people. You'll never understand until you're actually in the stands and you're able to experience it yourself. So,
those were the best wings I've had, by the way.
That's what I try to tell people. People think I be lying when I say, because they be having 5-star chefs. They be having chefs that work at fine restaurants and casinos and things of that nature. No, they really be putting it down in that, Chiney.
I like it.
I learned it post-game. That was my post-game meal.
But here's what I've tried to tell him. Everybody vibe ain't like Atlanta. Atlanta is a different vibe. You go to the Hawks game, you go to the Dream game, you go to the soccer game, you go to the stadium, Mercedes-Benz. It's a different vibe, Ocho. So everybody don't vibe like the 8. So you expect it like every arena that you go to is going to be like a club setting. Nah, they got barbers, chairs. They got everything going on up in the stadium.
Yeah,
that is true. That is true.
So, Chiney, you said feeding the ecosystem. I remember like when they came out with the team in 2004, they put Melo, they put D-Wade, they put LeBron. I'm not so sure at that time that we can make a case that all 3 of those guys were one of the best 12, but they understood that LeBron and his popularity probably needed to be on that team, as well as some of the other guys. And so growing the game, like you said, once the the original Dream Team happened in 92, the world started like, okay. And so that grew it. I can't recall but one foreign-born female player, Lauren Jackson, and I'm sure you know who that is, that we can consistently say that she was a top 5, top 10 player in the WNBA. Has the world really caught up? Do they have, maybe they don't send them over here to the WNBA and they just play on their club team, but has the world really caught up to us that quickly?
Oh, absolutely. I think so. I mean, if you look, this is the first generation of players that have the benefit of learning from YouTube. When we grew up watching sports, how did we learn? From the backyard, going from our coaches. I had to go to AAU to listen to a coach that was just a parent of a daughter that was there. Now, people can watch the games globally. People can watch the skills and go practice it instantly. There's more infrastructure to support sports. And then on top of it, we have people in the women's game that are not showing up for the WNBA, taking seasons off just to practice with their national team, because they understand that being on your national team is where you can really build your own marketing too.
Right.
Like, this is a place where you can be a star, whereas in the W, maybe you are a role player. So you have teams. There's a woman named Emma Mieseman who plays for Belgium, I believe, who is one of the coldest people in WNBA. Y'all, she's like Luka in a way.
Wow.
Like, she doesn't play faster than she needs to. She's gonna get her shot off, and she's just efficient. Now, she's not like a guard. She's more of a forward. But my point is that she's cold. She's been playing with her team for like 2 years straight. That's why it took a buzzer beater for USA earlier this year to beat them, because these women are competing year round, similar to us, but they also have the chemistry. They've been playing together since they were babies. Now, that's one of the things that we have the benefit of having so much talent that sometimes talent overwhelms. But nowadays, with the different international rules, with the increased skill set, just with the overall chemistry that these teams have been playing with forever, it's a little bit more challenging than we ever expected. That's why, like, no one really says that USA winning, or even whether it's the men winning, which we saw last summer, is just a walk in the park, an assumption. You have to go out there and earn it. And I'll lastly say this. I think that women's sports, you know that saying, you have to work twice as hard to get half as far, right? Like, for people to really get the viewership, to get the respect, it feels like we always have to be perfect. We always have to be on. That's how women operate, not just in sports. As a broadcaster, I always have to lead with the facts and the figures. I have to keep my feelings to the side, because the moment I show my feelings, people are like, oh, what does she know? Why does she feel like she can speak on X, Y, and Z? That's just the nature that we're in. I'll say this, and Ocho, people see you before they hear you. They judge you before they know you. So you have to go out there and be perfect. Why should we play loose and fast at times with the rules of who should be on the squad, which could compromise the integrity of the game, when we know that we're being criticized regardless? We just have to be consistent in our pursuit of perfection. That, to me, is what it's like to be a woman or to be a female athlete. That is the challenge that we're always up against. My sister always said, why are we catering to a group that only came just for this certain moment and not came to see the beauty of the entire landscape, the beauty of the entire ecosystem? We will accept, we will welcome, but we will not conform to something that has not made us better individually. What made us the best is that we go up against the best each and every night. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's things that make the way women approach sports, because we are constantly dealing with criticism, different than men. And I think it's okay. I think it's perfectly okay.
What do you say to the people that says, okay, yeah, they might have not been here before, but they're here now? It's kind of like, we have this, okay, you're 31 years of age, and well, you got married at 30, 31. And so if somebody said, like, dang, Shanae, they probably would say, what's taking you so long? It doesn't matter when it happened. It's that the fact that it did happen. And we understand that Caitlin Clark came with a different lens than anybody in the history of the game, because of the NIL situation, because of the marketing brand that was behind her. And we know why. We don't have to get into the nuances. We know why, because it was a perfect storm. But how about we take this perfect storm, and while it's spinning, we let it sweep up everybody that's in its path, which is the WNBA?
Well, I think the difference here is because she has gotten everything that she has needed in some regards. This is the first time that she, per se, has been denied something that people are surprised by. Okay. She got number one. She is the face of a new franchise. She's honestly, unfortunately, considered by many that are new to this, the face of the WNBA, and one of the most popular faces now in American sports, right? Mm-hmm. I'll say this. We talk about Asia Wilson has a chokehold on the league, but the way that we talk about Caitlin, I wish we could switch the dynamics, but it is what it is right now. She has gotten a lot. And no one's saying that she won't get it. They're just saying that right now, while all the eyeballs are there, yes, you feel like there's a great expectation, but I don't think you want to, there's a reason why she chose going to the WNBA instead of taking that Big 3 contract.
Yeah,
it's because she wanted to honor and respect the integrity of the sport and the competition in which she plays. You know what I'm saying? Not everything is what is delayed is not denied. She will be an Olympian if she continues on this trajectory. Has she been set up for success? Is this team being set up for success? Or is being popular more important? this is the one group that does not really move based off of popularity. And I think that's what people don't really understand.
Clearly. Well, Chane, we're going to thank you for just stopping by. We know you only had a brief moment, but thank you for joining Ocho and I on Nightcap. Ladies and gentlemen, Chiney Ogwumike, my colleague at ESPN First Take, thank you for joining us. Good night, and see you soon.
Always. I'll come back. You're on. I feel like I can be a young auntie around here. You know?
You're welcome back anytime.
I'll drink, but we can kick it next time. We can kick it again.
Thank you, Chane. Ocho, we got a special guest joining us. She was the 5th pick in the 2019 WNBA draft out of Notre Dame. She ranked 2nd in the WNBA scoring behind Asia Wilson at 26.4. We're excited to have tonight. I've been practicing this, and I hope I get it right. Arike Ogunbowale.
There you go. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
What's up? How y'all doing?
Rick, what they do,
Thank
Rick?
you for joining us.
What up? I see you at the Atlanta game.
Huh? Hey,
I saw you at the Atlanta game.
Hey, man, listen. Nothing but love, nothing but praise for your game.
Appreciate
Obviously,
you.
it was my first time going. It was my
Oh,
first
really?
time going. So then I think we had Nightcap that night, right? Or maybe the following night. And all I could think about, in being that I watched the NBA a little bit, the first thing that came to my mind for a comparison to you, based on what I saw with my own 2 eyes, because can't nobody tell me shit.
Yeah.
Hey, I say, listen, she look like Kyrie Irving. That's it. That's the only thing I can say.
I do get.
Hey, so you know what I'm talking about. Listen,
I feel you.
yeah. So you know I'm going with it, man. Listen, it was a joy. It was a joy watching you play. I'm coming to see y'all play again in Dallas when we have our tour coming up in Dallas, and y'all have a game I think the day before in August or the day after. But either way, I'm coming to watch you again because I need the autograph. I need a picture. I'm trying not to fanboy right now, so I'm trying to play it cool.
Come on
but
now.
I don't even care.
No, I appreciate that.
Yes, let's go.
So let me ask you a question. What do your friends call you? Do they call you Reek or they call you AO?
Reek or Arike. Don't nobody call me AO. But it's cool, but don't nobody call me AO.
Okay. All right, Reek. Look, there have been a lot of discussion. Everybody was talking about Caitlin Clark being snubbed or not being selected for the U.S. team, women's team, to go play the Olympics in Paris. I think one of the biggest snubs were yourself, leading the league in scoring. Everybody knows what you bring to the table. Can pat the rock, as Kyrie said, you can score. When the list came out and your name wasn't on it, what was the first thoughts that go through your mind?
Well, the thing is, I pretty much had an idea that I wouldn't be on it. So there's trials and stuff that go on throughout the years and previous, and you do it and you see the vibes. And I mean, me being me, I just felt the vibes. Like, honestly, when it comes to that stuff, it really doesn't have much to do with your game. It's really about who they feel like fits with the team, which, I mean, that's on the men's side too. You know, you could have said Kyrie could have made it and stuff like that. Like the committee say they look for people who, you know, I don't know, honestly, but I could already tell like that wasn't the type of vibe they were going. So I actually took my name out the pool like months ago. So when the list came out, I know everybody in Hooper like Arike should have been. I knew I wouldn't be on it. Now, that's not saying I didn't think maybe last year I would be on the team and I was good enough to make the team. But when the list came out, I knew I would not be on that one at the time because I took my name out the pool. And with the pool, it's a big commitment. Like if I know that they're not picking me, I'm not going to, you know, keep getting texted and keep having your time. That's what I'm saying. Keep having people pull up, keep going to these trials when I know the vibe. So me being me, I'm like, I'm not about to give y'all my time if I know the vibe. So I knew for sure when the list came out, it wasn't. But like I said previously, I did think I was good enough. But hey, you know, it's subjective who they think should be on the team. Everybody's great in the WNBA, so who they choose is who they choose, and I can't really control that one.
And you know what? And I have a question. I'm sure the people that make, or the people in positions of power that make these decisions on who they're going to assemble on the U.S. basketball team, I'm sure they are basketball heads. But when it comes to this decision making and decision process, do you think it's politics that comes into play into this?
I mean, it's politics.
One of the key words I heard you say is the vibe. And understanding the vibe, and it really shouldn't be about a vibe or anything. It's about assembling the best team to represent our country. So I know I don't want to get you in any trouble, but can you really talk about, the politics side of it when it comes to the decision-making process for them?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really speak to USA basketball in general, but just when I think of women's basketball and just however many years I've been playing college and pro, politics is always surrounding it. Now, whether that's USA basketball, whether that's all-star teams, whether that's first team and stuff like that, there's politics. Even with the men's, like there's politics in everything. So I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Right.
What are your thoughts about the discourse surrounding the WNBA? We hear a lot of talk because it's the league, and there's a lot of comparison between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese being the bird and magic coming into the WNBA. And we know what they did to the NBA, because all of a sudden they took the finals game off the tape delay. There was this new, and it was a perfect storm because you got Magic and Lakers, you got Bird at Boston, the most heated rivals, the most fiercest rivals, and they go there. So speak to what's going on with the WNBA, and it seems like these rooks are getting a lot of credit for what's happening in the dub.
Yeah, I mean, they're bringing a lot of attention. I think they should be getting credit to the point where they brought a lot of attention to the WNBA. And the narrative that we don't, appreciate that is crazy, because I love it. I've been hooping, so more people watching, the better. Like, I've been doing what I'm doing now. People kind of finally catching up. And, you got to give credit to Angel. You got to give credit to Caitlin, because they brought a lot of fans from college. I watched the Final Four. And I was at Dallas because I live in Dallas. So I went the year before that, and just how many people was there was crazy. Like, it was insane. And I played in the Final Four. I won a national championship, and I thought a lot of people were there. So this one, I'm like, they just bringing fans. So we appreciate everything that they're bringing now. It's not saying they're the best women's. I think that's where
they're like, not even close.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all now seeing Stewie, y'all seeing Asia, y'all seeing just players like that. It was like they've been dominating for 6, 7, 8 years, and these new players will do that at a certain point, but right now, I think just the WNBA, we appreciate everything that y'all bring, but it's not going to be easy. Like, people act like people are supposed to sit down and put out a red carpet. Like, it's going to be hard. It probably will be harder because of who you are, but that's just what comes with it. Like, that's like saying Bron, like, people shouldn't check him because he's the greatest. Like, no, they're going to try even harder, and that's just what happens. That's just competition.
Mm-hmm. Are the fans getting popular confused with best? Because two things can be true. Somebody can be popular and not really good, and somebody can be really good and not popular. So are the fans getting those two things confused, Reese?
Yeah, I feel bad for the girls because they're not the ones saying it. It's the fans. Like, I'm not understanding where the delusion is coming from. Like, Caitlin and Angel have not said nothing like they the best players to come in the league. They just say that. They just want to come. They know it's the WNBA. They know how hard it is. So they probably like, can y'all be quiet a little bit? Because y'all making it harder for me on the court. Like, y'all putting the target on my back. So nobody blames them. Like, it's just the fans and what they bring in. But I think they learned it now that this league is hard. Like, they seeing every night people that they've never even heard of killing or guarding and doing stuff like that. So I think they're going to catch up more, like, because now it's new. It's something to talk about. They want a storyline. But at the end of the day, like, the league's going to keep going and the thing's going to keep being the same. So they either going to waste their breath every day or they just going to enjoy basketball.
Oh, yeah.
I heard you shutting down the critics like physicality, because a lot of people are like, well, physicality in the dub is not good for basketball. You bull jive.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it's a male or female. It don't matter the sport.
Right.
It's a contact sport. Yeah. In order to play it the right way, there has to be some type of physicality involved.
Yeah. And people are being selective with what they're calling physical. Like, if we're going to talk about, now we're talking about the rookies. So we're going to talk about a hip check. That's not basketball. But if we talk about somebody holding D and stripping the ball and they might fall to the ground, that's basketball. There's a difference. Nobody's saying the hip check is being physical, because that's obviously a flagrant foul and that's wrong. Like, but it happens, like, because I watched the whole play. So I seen, Caitlin talk to her after that. So it's like, if you're going to talk to somebody, you got to be ready for something, no matter what it is. Like, not saying the person's response is right, but what they respond is how they feel that you coming at them. So that's different. But like I said, I'm not a type of player to do that to a player. Like, if you're going to talk to me, I'm going to show it with my game. But like, people got to get confused dirty and physical, because it's going to be physical and there will be some dirty, but that don't mean we're all dirty. It's just some plays might be dirty, some plays not, just like men's. Like, Draymond might choke somebody out. Draymond might regular foul.
Pat Bell.
Like,
don't forget Pat Bell.
Pat Bell he might get into something too. So it just depends, really. It's like individual to the player, for real. It's not the whole league.
I like it. I like it.
Go ahead. You got something, Ocho?
Man, listen, I'm just excited for the WNBA. I'm excited for the path it's going. I'm excited that it's dominating the headlines the way It hasn't in the past, because if it did in the past, then I would actually know about it. And as I continue to learn the game, as the game continues to grow, and just it's really dope to see. And a lot of people they try to tell me, "Oh man, why do you go to these games? It's really boring. It's not the same as watching NBA."
They don't know.
I say, listen, and this is the funny thing. Now that I've been able to experience it, and I've been to a game or two, now I can sit here and argue with people on Twitter all goddamn day. See, y'all, you see, y'all fucking lied to me. You told me it was nothing. You told me it was nothing like so and so. Now that I've done my homework and had a chance to experience what it's like in person, now I can go to bat, and then the goddamn product on the court, it evens up with everything else the pundits and the journalists have been talking about. There's a reason why y'all making the noise y'all making now.
Right. We got some hoopers. I mean, you can see it. You see the highlights. You see everything. Like, we got some hoopers. It's every night. It's something, honestly. And I mean, I play against it. Obviously, I'm a part of it, but we got some hoopers in the league for sure.
Yeah. I think you guys, Reek, is that you probably have to be a little better with the basketball for the simple fact you can't jump over somebody from the free throw line.
Facts.
So you got to find a you got to find a way to put the ball in the basket without being 7 foot tall, without having a 42-inch vertical. So your game, your skill set, the way you shoot the basketball, the way you get from point A to point B, it has to be pinpoint, because you got obviously the strength and the athleticism that a man possesses. Women just don't have that.
Right. And then the WNBA, honestly, we hold defense. Like, the NBA hold defense probably the last 3 minutes, last 2 minutes of each quarter, last 3 minutes of the fourth. Okay. Like, other than that, they scoring 40, 50, 60, 70 because they just switching everything. I'm like, if we were switching everything in W, I'd probably average 40. But you get trapped at half court. You got to do a lot. Like, you got to do a lot. NBA, I just be watching them like, y'all got it so sweet. Although they do got to play a lot of minutes, though, so I probably wouldn't be holding defense either, but still.
Right.
You know what? Ocho and I wanted to say congratulations. We heard that you just got engaged.
I did.
Congratulations on the engagement. Let me ask you this. Were you nervous?
I was. And I had a game that day, too. Like, I had a game. They were setting up. I had 35, though. I went crazy. We lost.
Okay. Let's go.
That's what's up.
We lost, though. So, but I mean, I did good. I got a bucket.
How you have 35 and y'all lose?
I know, right? Yeah, we in a tough position right now. We missing 2 All-Stars. That's not an excuse, but we going through some growing pains. I'll just say that. Okay. But we'll be all right. But yeah, it was dope. It was amazing. I definitely was nervous, but once it happened, like, it was everything I ever wanted. So it was definitely dope.
That's dope. Listen, congratulations on the engagement. I am also a wedding planner, amongst other things that I also do. I am also performing. I performed at two weddings last year. So if you need somebody to perform, I can also DJ.
You DJ too? Okay.
Yeah, I got everything wrapped all in one.
Run the track, then run to the dance floor.
Bingo.
Pretty soon, Ricky will tell you, he a minister too,
right,
and then he'll get you
he'll do
your vows for you.
Why was that just getting ready to tell you? I'm a junior ordained minister too. So if
junior is crazy.
Junior.
Junior is crazy.
Check this out, Rick. I heard you a sneakerhead, that your shoe game is crazy.
Yeah. I got a lot of shoes, and thankfully I'm a Nike athlete, so you can, like, once you get that, you really can get anything you really want. Like, but I got a lot of shoes for sure.
Give me your top 5 shoes that you have in your collection.
Dang. I mean, I got the UNC Off-Whites.
Okay.
Yeah. Top 5. I don't know.
You got any? Do you have any of the Yeezys? Remember when Kanye was with Nike? Do you have any of the Yeezys?
I got the runners. I don't have any of, like, the red boots and stuff. I know I got the black ones, like some tan ones, but I can't wear them. Like, they just on ice because I'm Nike.
Okay. You got the 750 boots.
Yeah, but I don't wear them. Honestly, but the thing is, I'll be in slides. Like, if it's something tough, I'll wear it, but most of the time I'll be in slides or Nike running shoes.
So, hey, I also heard you're one of the top 5 best dressed.
I would say that.
Coming to the game.
I would say that.
Hey, nah, we're not finna do that.
It's okay.
I agree.
You be dripping.
Yeah.
Okay.
You be putting that shit on. You be putting that shit on.
I appreciate that. No, I tried.
Yeah.
So if you top 5 and you say you're not 2, 3, or 4, 4 or 5, so who your other 4?
My other 4 in the league right now, I'll give Tasha Cloud.
Okay. Yeah.
Tasha Cloud. I'll give Skylar. I like her style.
Okay.
Kalia Copper, she got a smooth style. Tasha
Okay.
Cloud, Kalia Copper, Skylar, Arike, and then who would the fifth? I'll get Diamond the Shields.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So do you like sneakers with all your outfits?
Nah. I mean, I used to be like super sneakered up, like Nike, but now I just do like some loafers or some like shoes that ain't got really no label, but then most of my shoes been covered nowadays. You know, I'm on the flare pants right now, so you might not even see the shoe.
Hey, you talk about bell bottoms, you got the elephant bottoms.
Facts.
So let me ask you a question. How long does it take you to put together an outfit? Do you know, so okay, your next game, do you have your outfit already picked out, or is it like last minute, like?
Yeah, usually the night before. Like, I already picked out what I'm about to wear for the game tomorrow. So I'm not stressed because, you know, the game days, it'd be a lot going on. I don't got time to be looking. And it take a long time to pick an outfit. Like, unless I, you know, have somebody help me with an outfit, if I'm picking my own, like, it take me a long time. So I got to do it the night before for sure.
So can we tell the difference between an outfit Arike picked out as opposed to someone helping her pick it out? Can we tell the difference?
No, because I got style. So whether it's a stylist or whether it's myself, it's all in one. I say when I use a stylist, it's collaboration because I'm not just wearing what you give me. Like if I think a shoe go better with that, I'm gonna wear that, or a pant go better with this top. Like it's usually like buy pieces, we talk about it. But if it's full fits and I like really, really like it, I'm gonna wear the whole fit. But we usually talk about it. I'm never gonna wear something like them NBA players. They got $2,000 on. They look a hot mess from top to bottom. That's never gonna be me. That's never gonna be me.
So let me ask you a question. When you go with what are you trying to accomplish when you go to the game? Obviously, you want to be stylish, and you know because now everybody the entry into the game is damn as important as what happens in the game.
It just depends. Like it really depends on the time I had the night before. Like if I'm really about to tap in, it depends on city too. Like I like New York arena. Like I like Phoenix, so I might want to get more dressed up. Like or if I'm in LA or something. So it depends on the vibe of the game too. But if I just felt like getting dressed, if I'm at home, I'm gonna do that. So it's never really like a rhyme or rhythm. It's just whatever, to be honest.
Do you always get dressed up? Is it ever like when you go out somewhere that you might be seen, or photogs might grab you, that you're not always to the nine?
Nah, no, I be in sweats. Like majority of the time, like the most time I'm dressed up is the tunnel. Like
okay, that's what's
like if I got somewhere to go, yes, but I also don't go a lot of places. Like I be at home. I'm a homebody. I like to be at the house.
Right. So what can we expect? Hey, you mentioned that you guys going through a little rough patch. You're going to get some of your key players back. You doing your thing. What can we expect from the Wings moving forward and Reese?
Fun basketball. I mean, exciting basketball. Like I'm a flashy player type, so I like to entertain. You know, I like to get a bucket. Yeah. I like to keep the fans engaged, but I also like to win and compete and play with my team. So definitely, hopefully, a lot more wins. But anytime you go to a game, you're gonna get something exciting. So definitely, fans need to look forward to that.
Who we like competing against, Reese? Who we like when you gonna schedule like, okay, yeah, I know everybody gonna be watching that game. whether it's the Aces and Kelsey Plum and Chelsea Gray and Asia Wilson, or it's the Liberty, it's the Nesco, it's Jonquel Jones, it's Stewie. Excuse me. Whether you go now, normally it's Seattle because they got them guards. They got Skylar.
Yeah, that's what we play tomorrow, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
We play ESPN, so that's a shameless plug.
Some gotta give. Some gotta give.
No, me and Jewel, we be having. Last time we played each other last year, we had like both games like 30 and 30. One time we had 41 and 40. Like we be going crazy, and we both went to Notre Dame, so it'd be competitive, but it's all fun. Even Skylar, like I love playing against great guards, like because one. You cold, I'm cold. We about to see who the coldest tonight. Like we about to see what's going on. And I love when we guard each other too. So it's really like we're gonna check each other and we're gonna score on each other. So I'll probably guard Jewel tomorrow. She probably guard me. So it'd be fun, you know, playing against her. So I love playing against her. And other players like who get up, like, yeah, I'm about to lock you up. Like I love that. Like I love when people come at me competitive because I know what I have. I'm never, you know, scared to back down for anybody. So we just about to see who's gonna be the best tonight. Like, are you a trash talker? You be in your bag like that? It's like, yeah, that's a bucket there, baby. Yeah, but I don't talk to people. Like, if somebody talks to me,
you don't? Okay.
Nah, I don't really talk to people. Like, I'll be more worried about the rest of anything. I'm like, that's a foul. Like, I'm yelling at the refs. I'm not really yelling at the players, but I don't really trash talk. Like, if I hit a good bucket, I might say at the person.
You know what? You was on Dancing with the Stars. What was that experience like?
It was crazy. I was more nervous for that than anything. Like you think it's not bad until you get to that little stage and you gotta do something you're not used to in front of all these people. Like that, like it was, and then the practice, it's like we had to practice like 3-4 hours a day. I'm like, I gained a lot of respect for dancers after dancing. I'm like, y'all really like, that's a lot. It's a lot. But it was fun. I met a lot of cool people, but it was a lot.
Yeah, Dancing with the Stars was awesome. Obviously, I did season 10, Dancing with the Stars with Cheryl Burke. And I always say it was a great experience. People always ask me about it. I say it's very humbling. Obviously, with her being a professional dancer and them critiquing and judging you as a professional, not someone that's coming in learning week to week how to perform. So I mean, it was very enjoyable. The funny thing about it is, I like it about the show. The whole point of the show, to me, it would be taking people with no background experience in dancing and watching them get better week to week. But my season, I had to go against Nicole Scherzinger, who was the lead singer for the Pussycat Dolls. And what she does for a living is entertain and perform in front of people. So I'm like, well, why do y'all have me going against someone that already dances for a living when it comes to their respective craft? So it made no sense. But I did fairly well that season, so I really wasn't tripping.
Well, at least you did good. That's all that matters.
Everyone, please go follow Arike on our social medias. That's Arike _Ogunbowale on IG, Arike _O O on Twitter. Reek, thank you for joining us. Good luck the rest of the season. And
I gotta see both of y'all at a game.
Yeah, hey, I told you I'm gonna be there.
You know what? If there's a game when we're in town at the on the tour, we'll swing through.
All right, bet. I'm gonna hold y'all to it.
All right, one.
All right, appreciate y'all.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on with us tonight.
Yeah.